he wasn't thinking, because that's not what he see all the time, obviously, or that's not, or he don't give a fuck, or in the back of his mind, that's not what he considers beautiful. I'm Jimmy B. Fearless, and welcome to the You Feel Me podcast with my big homie Wayne. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell, rock that bell. Make sure that you get all of our content anytime that we post. And also don't forget to sign up for our podcast on all platforms for the audio version.
So, Fearless, we have another great topic this week. This one's a little, sensitive to the heart, to the subject, especially to me, being a dark skinned man myself. This week's topic is, why you hate dark skin? What is it about dark skin that scares you? What is it about dark skin? Do you think it's, unclean or, unhealthy, or what is it about it that you fear so much? And, I'm actually going to throw this off to Fearless. If you want to start us off, Jim B. Fearless, how do you feel about the dark skin?
So, colorism, as me and you were talking about earlier, is a big subject, and it actually affects every race. White people don't really like darker white people. Black people that are light skinned, they have issues with darker, black people. Then you have what has been happening recently, and what spurred this topic for us is the movie In the Heights. So you probably heard about In the Heights and the fact that there's no Afro-Latinos presented in that movie. There's only actually one African-American gentleman that's in that movie, but everyone else is either considered a lighter Puerto Rican or Spanish person, or just like a white Spanish person. So a lot of that, and from my opinion, has to do with the way we were brought up, right, as people. We were always brought, just due to slavery time, to have beef with like the house nigga, right? The person that's in the crib. And then you have the darker cats that's in the field. That's what we were told. When it comes to part of my community, the Afro-Latino community, this shit has been going on since like the conquistadors, right? So you had the Spanish motherfucking conquerors come to Puerto Rico, and they took over Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico means rich port. And they pillaged and raped and had relations with the local indigenous tribe there, the Taino Indians. So Spanish motherfuckers are fair skinned. You know what I mean? The only thing that differentiates them from white folk is the hair, and they speak Spanish and shit. But other than that, they're very fair skinned people. So they come to Puerto Rico, they intermingle with the local people there, and then you have like white Puerto Ricans. Then a little bit later, you have the Dutch and the slave traders coming, and they porting in Puerto Rico, and they're taking the Africans, and they have relations with the Taino Indians. So now you have African Latinos, African Puerto Ricans. And since then, you've had the white Puerto Ricans against black Puerto Ricans. You've had, when we moved to America and shit like that, you have the darker skinned Puerto Ricans versus the whiter skinned Puerto Ricans. My whole thing is that all of this shit is indoctrinated into us. We have this thought in our mind that the lighter you are, the better you are, the more you can assimilate with the elite white people of this world. And that shit has to fucking stop, because we don't get no representation in movies. We don't get no representation in media, period. And that shit is killing us. So how do you feel about it, Wayne, when it comes to just like colorism and why people hate dark skin so fucking much, even though it's basically their own skin?
Okay. Thank you for the history lesson. First of all, I do appreciate that, because a lot of those things that, I did not know, and I probably never would have even known, even if I were to study it myself. It's certain things like that if you didn't live through it, or you weren't taught about it growing up, then a lot of that you wouldn't even know. So I do appreciate you saying that much. How I feel about it, I mean, obviously you could tell I'm a pretty dark skinned man, so I've been going through it, my whole life. How I feel about it, I think it's become more comical. In a way, when you see a dark skinned person on TV or cartoons or anything like that, just think of the blackface back in the day. It always showed us in just, a comical light, where something to be made fun of, something to be, dark skinned people are usually used as like a measuring stick of what not to look like, I guess, or kind of like what to stay away from, I guess. That's not the way you want to look. So, I mean, so
Right.
much so that, bleaching our skin has become an extreme practice in our community. You know what I mean?
Latin communities,
People
big time too.
really, yeah, like Sammy Sosa. Look at what Sammy Sosa did to himself, and it's crazy because people want to be that light because, they want to be white or look white so much that they don't even realize, or maybe they do realize and don't care, that they're making themselves look crazy because we know what you used to be or what you are. And we see you
Right.
making this gradual change. Like, you think we're dumb and we don't see like what's going on and the products you're using, or do you not? So I don't know. I've always thought it was really weird that people will go through such drastic changes to look a certain way. And to an extent, maybe plastic surgery could be in that same area. But I think more so colorism, because it's one thing to enhance your beauty. It's
Right.
another thing to like want to completely change who you are and change your skin color. That takes a different, like that's like a new height of self-hate,
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things that it's just as simple as like white as being seen as pure and being seen as viewed as clean, is in this dark being dirty, even light skin being looked at as, you're dirty. If you touch me, like it's just gonna come off, it's gonna roll off and be on your fingers, and so in a sense it's kind of biblical, it's kind of biblical in a way. Nothing that's black is of anything good, of anything pure.
Damn.
It's always evil. It's always bad, and I think even to be called black, like that's, and I think, when people say, we're African American, and, there's some people who just take things to heart and they don't really, they just want to take things to mean what it means. And they'll say, well, no, I'm not African American. I don't even know if I'm from Africa. My ancestors are from Africa. I'm African. And you're like, no, bro, but look here. African American is more respectful than being called black, because black is just another word for like, you're not pure. White is, pure. You've never been touched. You're an angel. There are no black angels. The only black angels are in hell, right? So by that thought, I mean, if I could think that, I'm sure there's some other people of different races who could think that as well. That's an easy thought to put into your own head. So black is being seen as something bad. It's dark. Nobody wants to, go to the dark. It says go towards the light. Look at the light. Don't go towards the darkness. So it's not just an American thing. This is a worldwide thing where, dark skin is being seen as ugly. It's been seen as like toxic. Like, and then it's the one thing that hasn't progressed out of all this. Like, we have our we have like our new Asian American hate initiative. Black Lives Matter is making a movement. Everybody has their thing, the LGBTQ plus community, but it's still like this colorism within our own race. It's still an issue. Like, we still can't get over that. There's something that's that hurdle that we've created ourselves, or at least, those with the powers to be have created. And we've let it stay there, and we're not jumping over that hurdle. We're not trying to, get over that thing. Everything else, we for the most part, we're understanding of it. But this colorism thing, it's so deeply rooted. I don't know. It's, how we can get away with it, how to get away from it, because it's obviously taught. It's obviously taught that this looks ugly or this looks this way. And if I could speak on in the heights thing, in a sense, I kind of see, representation matters, 1,000%. But when it comes to Hollywood, like, it may not be marketable. You see what I mean? To hire like, all Afro-Latinos that people may not know. Cause you got to think like these people are putting millions of dollars up and they want to put their stars in the movie. Not saying it's right. Not saying I agree with it because I don't. If we could have more Afro-Latino stars, that would be wonderful. But that's not the way Hollywood works. They need to put a face to something, and that face needs to be widely accepted by the masses. And you can't just put a whole group of Afro-Latinos, a whole group of Asians, and a whole group of something where you don't have a couple in there that's solidified that can hold that whole movie. You see what I mean? Like you can't, because if that's the case, if there's more than 2 black people in a movie, it's automatically considered a black movie. You see what I mean?
Right.
And that's why I think it is. So they'll put enough of us in there to, for, because they have to, you know what I mean? But anything more than that is like, okay, now we're reaching on dangerous territory. We may not be getting our money back for this one. This movie may be bootlegged more than watched in theaters. You know what I mean? Right. And they're afraid of that. The only way, and I think of all of the black movies recently that have been out, just the black movies. I know we're talking about In the Heights, I know, but the black movies that have come out recently that have been all black. You're talking about like Black Panther, Coming to America too, if you want to consider that, even though they came out on Amazon, but whatever. It like those movies like that. You have Marvel, then you have Coming to America too. You have one of the greatest, most beloved black films of all time coming in for a sequel. You know what I mean? So of course, like we're going to go and flock to those, like Straight Outta Compton, movies that we want to see. Of course, we're going to flock to those. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the Afro-Latinos and some Asian people and whatever other race may flock to their movies that has a cast of them in there. But it's more of an event for each race, if you understand what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like when Black Panther came out, we made it a thing. We wore shirts, garb, we invited our mamas, all of that. The same for like, Coming to America, we dressed up. All these movies that we take the time out to go and see, it's like it becomes a thing for us. Now you have like an In the Heights movie and you're expecting some representation, but you have to understand like this is coming from the guy who made Hamilton. I'm sure he couldn't do things 100% his way when he did that as well, but they gave him the rights to do his thing. And you can only do so much. The studios come and be like, yo, we want this person, that person. This person doesn't look the way we want them to look. I'm not saying you have to understand, but I'm saying like these people want their money back and they can't just put a bunch of unknowns in a movie screen just because they think they can sing and dance and I can act. I'm Afro-Latino. I'm like, no, it don't work like that, bro. We got to find somebody who can act, throw them in there. So it's a business thing, man. So it's business over doing what's right as usual.
So just to let you know, everyone that's in that movie, ain't nobody know who the fuck they is.
You said everybody
None of these. Everyone that's in that movie, nobody know who the fuck they are. These are not A-list. They're like B-list actors because there is not a lot of Latinos that's in the movies. And that's what the point of this movie was. This movie was for our community to give these people an opportunity in the spotlight so they can grow within that fucking realm.
Gotcha.
But you cast, and the guy that did Hamilton, he's the one that did all the casting. So there is not a lot of I don't think there's a lot of white faces in this movie. So he made that decision to not actively seek or hire people that were Afro-Latino because he literally intentionally found people that were Latino to be in this movie called In the Heights. And really ain't no acting. That's all you're doing is fucking dancing, which all Afro-Latino people can do. Most of us all can dance and sing. Like, let's be honest. Like, we grew up around salsa, merengue, and the music that is in that movie. So even if we can't sing or act, most of the motherfuckers can't sing or act in Hollywood neither. You know what I mean? So that's not the reason. It's the simple fact that you wasn't thinking about us because we are not your ecosystem. So when he decided to make this movie, he wasn't thinking about fucking added in Afro-Latino people. He ain't probably know no Afro-Latino people. Like I said, the motherfuckers have a clear line of separation. If you are a lighter or a fucking tanner, you know what I mean, or a whiter Latino, you might not hang around with other Afro-Latinos. You might not, you know, you gonna hang with your crew. And that's not his motherfucking crew probably. And he said it. That's why he apologized. The nigga that did the In the Heights movie. And I just think it brings up a bigger issue. And let me just, before I get into that, let me say this. My brother-in-law, Ox, he's a darker, African-American male.
Mm-hmm.
And, we would be sitting there, you know, like ragging on each other, joking or whatever. Ranking is what we call it up north. Ranking.
Mm-hmm.
And I always be like, yeah, nigga, you darker than the motherfucking street at night and shit like that. He was like, oh, you fat motherfucker or whatever. I think about that and think about this topic, and I think about how even though we just joking, that nigga can take that shit and that could be in his subconscious. So he doesn't have like that self-confidence that he needs. Now, my brother is a stand-up nigga. He's a gangster, and he probably might not let that shit get to him. But all motherfuckers got emotions. So I just wanted to say on this, and I'll tell him personally, just thinking about it, that, you know, I apologize for that shit. And I try my best not to do that in the future. We always teased each other, but I don't want that to be in a nigga's subconscious. You feel me? Yeah. And have it be like something that he's thinking about all the time when he go outside and just try to, you know, just to deal with everyday life. He doesn't need that in the back of the mind that, oh, I'm black as a motherfucker. Right. Like, that's something, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, I always, and I told you, Wayne, like, I would love for my skin color to be the same tone as yours. I think that, you know, all darker skin is beautiful, just like I don't give a fuck about lighter skin. It's beautiful too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think it's something that we use, like you said, as the darker you are, is like the more evil you are, or the more filthy you are. And that shit has been indoctrinated into us. I know as a little kid, I would be joking against somebody. I'm always like, oh, you black motherfucker, you dark motherfucker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that shit has always been put into us, and we have this separate line and this separation. Now, In the Heights movie is a clear identifier of that. How the fuck are you in a minority group and you gonna have this in your mind subconsciously? You don't want to support all minority people within your minority group that you're making a whole fucking movie about. Yeah. The fuck are you doing? How the fuck don't you don't tell me you can't walk down the street and hit a black Afro-Latino motherfucker? You walking down the street in the Heights? Nigga, are you from the Heights? What the fuck are you? Nigga, I've been up there, nigga. I was up there. I'm Afro-Latino. So what the fuck is you doing? Like, you are actively not trying to hire these niggas. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. There's Afro-Latinos that do music right now. You could have got Coco or a whole bunch of other motherfucking actors. I ain't trying to hear that shit. That's you not thinking. You can write these motherfucking songs, but you can't think about casting a motherfucker. The fuck's your problem? Come on, bro. Do better. Like, come on, man. Like, it's not that hard. My fault. Go ahead.
What if it was, they cost less and people would never be able to tell if they weren't Afro-Latinos anyway?
You see what happened? Like, as soon as that motherfucker came out, motherfuckers watched that shit. My people, Afro-Latino people, Latino people, you know, Latino people that's not, you know, they look more like the conquistadors and like Spanish people from Spain and shit. They saw it and they complained. Like, yo, where the fuck is the Afro-Latino representation? Yeah. What are we doing? Like, nigga, this is the guy that made Hamilton. You know how many motherfuckers that's not Latino gonna watch this movie? Millions. How about you show as many people as you can?
So, representation aside, do you think that this is going to attract more people to the movie or push more people?
Ain't nobody watching this shit. It's gonna push more people a motherfucking way. I don't think nobody gonna watch this fucking movie. I know I ain't. I saw clips online so I could get a reference so we could talk about this shit. That was it. Mm-hmm. I read both sides. I read what he said, and the fact that he apologized the way he did let you know that he dropped the motherfucking ball. But he wasn't thinking, because that's not what he see all the time, obviously. Or he don't give a fuck. Or in the back of his mind, that's not what he considers beautiful. Oh, and then the thing that kills me is that you intentionally hire a black actor that's not Latino, and he's on the cover. So you know you fucking up. Why would you do that? Like, come on, man. Like, you could be racist and be Puerto Rican against your own motherfuckers. You don't even know it. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. And that's why he apologized. Like, I do better in the future. Whatever, bitch. Yeah, do better in the future, bitch. Whatever, nigga.
But
we
I
know
mean,
what the fuck's popping.
But so say it is an instance of him just not knowing, him just being oblivious of what's going on in the actual heights now. Can we not give the man a little bit of leeway for a mistake?
Yes, nigga, this is a movie. That's a hell of a mistake.
A lot on your plate. This is a lot on your plate.
He's done this shit before. He ain't new to this. He's true to this.
But it doesn't get easier though.
Nigga, yeah, dude. If you do something multiple times, it gets easier.
Bruh,
he did Hamilton all over the world. He's not no clown. He know he doing. He casted niggas in the movie.
I understand that, but it's different than for hiring black people for Black Lives Matter reasons than it is to not know what's really going on where you came from because you haven't been there in a while. You haven't been there, so you think you're doing the right thing. Doesn't he get like a little credit?
I think that he gets credit for making a movie with Latino people in it, but I also feel like in this day and age, we are, like you stated, missing the ball when it comes to colorism. Everybody else has had their time. Colorism has not had its time. I hate the simple fact that I would date a girl that was darker skinned and people, friends of mine, would be like, damn, she black. The fuck, nigga? I'm black. The fuck are you talking about? I mean, she dark. And nigga, the fuck that mean? Would you want me to bring a white person around and make you feel better? Like, I've heard that personally. I don't understand. I understand where it comes from. I just don't understand why it's still a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that movie that Spike Lee did, it was about that, right? It was one of the big things about colorism. Remember that movie?
Jungle Fever? I think it was Jungle Fever.
Nah, not Jungle Fever, but that's a good one too. I think it was the one where they went to college. I forgot the name of the movie.
Yes.
School Days. School Days was about that. Oh you see what I'm saying? That shit. When was that, bro? 91?
No, that was in 88, 86, 87, 88, somewhere around there.
How the fuck are we still talking? We don't even talk about colorism though.
Right.
Like, thank God this shit happened. To let niggas know. Like, there's hate on, it don't matter, bro. It's like the lighter you are, the more sophisticated you are, the more ready you be to able to be in corporate America, the more that you look like massa. That's really what it is. That's what, and it's subconscious. It's not even something that you notice, bro. You don't even notice it. That's some bullshit, man. He fucked up in that movie, man. Like, for real. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. That nigga knew. I know. It takes me a long time to edit this shit. It takes us a long time to record this shit. And we just doing this shit. You know what I'm saying? We just starting up. So I can imagine how long it takes to make a fucking movie. How the fuck you ain't gonna know this from rap time? You know how much time they got to sing and dance and record and learn this shit? Come on, bro. You can go to Puerto Rico and just get like 75 Afro-Latino people. It don't gotta be 100 motherfuckers. It could just be one. Can we get one? Damn, we can't get one. And then you got actors coming out saying, well, hey, just give us some time. At least we tried. What? Go ahead. Do you agree with what they're saying?
At least they tried what? At least they tried to act Afro-Latino?
No, they saying at least they made a movie, a Latino movie with all Latin cast. The next thing now, just wait your turn, and then we got y'all the next time.
See, I didn't take it that last part that you said, but I did kind of see it that way. Of at least we tried. You know, I understand. I feel it, but I do understand that representation matters as well. Excuse me, and I almost want to say I almost want to say that they kind of have a good point. Like, we tried to make this movie and we're trying to put us back on the map. But I feel like it's too soon to nitpick. Is that a thing? Like, it's too soon to really nitpick and say, those are Afro-Latinas. No, but they are Latinas. If we ought to have such a big movie, a big opening, a big field now, it's a great thing. And that leaves the door open for Afro-Latinas or for more Afro-Latino movies to come out, because people aren't ready for that different, I guess, that culture that's what am I talking about? I don't think people are ready for that divide in culture yet. I don't think their minds is ready to accept an Afro-Latino, because now you're thinking LGBT, you're thinking, everybody has like their own, I guess every race is split up into a different, I guess, section or so. And I don't feel like the general population is mature enough to accept what that is without arguing it down.
I don't see what the fuck is the big deal though.
I don't either.
It's just a darker skinned Latino person. You gonna have these other Latinos that are represented, right?
Right.
What the fuck is the difference from just having one that's dark? People don't even know what the fuck Afro-Latino is. That's why that's more important than everybody know what the fuck a Puerto Rican person is, but you don't know what Afro-Latinos are. You don't know that most Afro-Latinos were segregated to like the poorer parts of Puerto Rico. And then you had the richer motherfucking ones that look lighter, that lived in San Juan and all that shit, so they can be more appealing to the tourists. So and as a Latino man, you should fucking understand that. But you're gonna make Hamilton, but you understand rap though. But you don't understand that about your own fucking culture? The fuck's wrong with you? What are you doing? That's what I'm saying. Like, it's either it's intentional or it's the biggest drop. It's the biggest missed opportunity in fucking movie history. And then you telling us to wait our turn. That sounds real similar to what they told us with the Black Lives Matter movement. They don't it?
It does.
Wait your turn. Wait your turn. We get you next time. What the fuck movie? What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, you're not the first, nigga. Carlito's Way was way before you, motherfucker. And there's been a ton of Puerto Rican motherfuckers in movies. Don't get it fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And that nigga wasn't even Puerto Rican. And he was in the fucking movie. You know what I'm saying? Yep. There was more Afro-Latinos in that movie than in this one. Man. But I don't want to just talk about only Afro-Latinos. I really want to talk about darker skinned people. When I walk down the street, people look at me a certain type of way, even where the fuck I live at. And where I live at, it is not no motherfucking 10 cents to rent. I go and do my motherfucking morning jog. Certain white people, they'll say, "Hey, how you doing, man?" The other rest of them, they'll just look at me like, In this day and age, bro.
Yeah.
This shit is still prevalent. So if I was darker, I would be way more segregated to like hate. Have you ever experienced that as a darker skinned African American male? People looking at you funny or shit like that.
So what's crazy about that is no, I don't. I don't know if it's the area I live in. I don't live in like an all white area or anything like that. Unless I'm just oblivious to it, or I know how to ignore it. I know how to not see it. I don't get any like weird or crazy looks being a dark skin. Right. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too in my zone to really notice. Like I'll notice, like I notice if somebody like looks at me longer than usual. You know what I mean? Like I'll see somebody, if I'm walking down the street, I see somebody in the car, and you do something or they'll do something and, on about their business. I'm really the worst person to talk to about this because I would get more hate from other black people for my dark skin than I would from anybody else. Yo,
that is so true.
Yeah.
So I think that other races probably just hate you because you're black in general, or they not hate you, but let's just say have certain stereotypes about you, right?
Right.
I remember
don't
when
care about your skin color. They can hate that you're dark enough for me to hate.
Right. Or just like not hate, or maybe just feel wary of, or just have these stereotypes. I understand that. We all have stereotypes. Let's just be honest about that. We all have stereotypes about certain type of people. We all generalize. It's the worst thing that we ever done as a people, as humans or humanity. We generalize. That is the worst thing we've ever done. If we judge each person by their character, we wouldn't have colorism or racism, period. Because everybody's different. Because I know some hood niggas that will tear up your house and rob you blind and do all types of bad shit that you never thought could ever happen to you. But I also know people that go to work, go home, don't bother nobody. Very good stand-up people. You know what I mean? Strong men and women in the community. Everyone's different. So you can't judge people. But that's what we do, right?
Right. No doubt.
So I feel exactly what you're saying. I've gotten more hate from my Latino part of my family because of the color of my skin than African Americans hating me because I'm Afro-Latino. You know what I'm saying? And let me just explain that. I'm Afro-Latino because my dad was African American and Indian. Like Native American, like we always say. And then my mom is actually from Puerto Rico, Humacao. She grew up in Catalina. Or I might have that reverse. One of them motherfuckers. And she moved here in the 70s. You know what I'm saying? So I'm Afro-Latino by that way. But as I explained earlier, other people are Afro-Latino because of another way. But it's not really about that. I hate the fact that as black people, minority people, we hate darker skinned people. And I just feel like that's something that we need to address and understand that that's been instilled in us from the jump. So Wayne, what do you think we can do to eliminate that? Like, is there something that we need to just like do as a people to say like, hey, we need to stop this shit. If you light skin, you dark skin, there is no difference, motherfucker. You still gonna probably get treated the same at the end of the day.
I think this is kind of like, doing away with the N-word. It's gonna take a
Generations.
lot. Yeah, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna take a lot of non-teaching this. Like, we have to teach it and tell each other like this is wrong to do. It's gonna take a lot, man. I don't think it's anything that we can do in like maybe 20 years. Like, it's gonna take we have to learn to ridicule the people who make fun of a darker skin tone.
Right.
Understand that. Like, let that sit in your head for a little bit. Like how we ridicule people for making fun of gay people, or how we ridicule people for being racist. Like, we have to sit down with our own people and be like, yo, like, don't make fun. Like, we got it bad enough as it is out here. Like, don't shit on somebody for like, we make fun of you not having enough money, not having enough this or that, or a beat up car. Like, come on, man. That shit is bad enough. Now we got to beat on somebody for having darker skin.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. It's going to take a lot, man. It's going to take a lot. And it sucks because with all the problems that we have, this is one thing that it's the lowest thing at the bottom of the totem pole, but it's really like the biggest problem. Like, if we eliminate this, we eliminate so much self-hate, and with self-hate gone, we have more camaraderie. We have more togetherness, no more brotherhood, more sisterhood. You know what I mean? And
we can fight against the true enemy.
Exactly.
Elitism.
Exactly.
Elitism.
And I swear that can be the end of a lot of our ills, a lot of our problems. But I think that it'll take a lot. But it's like I said, it's at the bottom, so it's not thought about.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of hip hop, man, like, that's probably the reason why I love hip hop so much, just to bring it back a little bit to music, is because certainly nowadays, it doesn't matter who the fuck you are, what color you are. You know what I mean? We've had Big Pun and Fat Joe. And then we've also had like darker artists in terms of tone. Doesn't matter. You could be white and do music. It's all about like kind of like your talent. You know what I'm saying? I wish it was like that in terms of everything. What is your talent level? What is your knowledge? Who are you as a person? Not the way you fucking look. Like, everyone should go blind when it comes to color. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's judge a motherfucker by what they do. You know what I mean? Like, and who they is. Like, even if like when I see kids like walking down the street and they got their pants sagging, I hate that shit, honestly, yo. That shit it's so much history behind that shit that they don't even know because they're kids, but they fucking kids. But just because he has his pants sagging and he might fit that stereotype, come to find out this motherfucker is a 4.0 student.
Right.
About to go to Harvard. But the first thing you think is, oh, this is just a hooligan or a gangster or a thug. You know what I mean? We got to stop that shit. We got to stop it overtly. And we have to also make sure that we check ourselves when we do it. Because I know that I might be sitting there and we might, you know what I mean? I might be chatting with like one of my brothers that's like darker or some shit like that. Like, you black motherfucker, you dark motherfucker. Cause he might say something about me. I need to check that shit at the door. That is not okay. Like, I'm not saying that you can't joke. I'm not saying that you can't do whatever you want the fuck to do. But like, in terms of what you could do to somebody mentally, you got to think about that shit, man. Because motherfuckers offing themselves left and right. Motherfuckers got all types of problems, taking all types of pills, beating their wives, all types of fucked up shit just because of something that you said, bro. Like, I know, like, people like, oh, people sensitive and shit like that. No, we just more aware of what the fuck is going on.
Right.
This shit's been going on, my nigga. So it's just like, we just gotta cut that shit out. We gotta cut it out. We gotta get it out. It's like a disease, man. And like you said, bro, we can really start to fight the real enemy if we stop all this infighting between each other just because of the color of our skin. Right. And Latino people, please stop bleaching yourself.
Yo, like, what is that they use? Is it actual bleach, or do you know?
Only thing I know is you go to Brazil, you can get that shit. I think it takes like 15, 20 treatments or something. You can lighten your skin, bro. I think it's lasers, man. I think it's laser, bro. You know how they do like laser tattoos? Like laser tattoos?
Laser removal?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think they like literally lasering you. I'm like, though, this shit cause cancer and this shit gonna get you sick. But it's big in Brazil.
Isn't that a lot of skin to cover?
Yes, nigga, it's a lot. I don't know if they get their whole body done. I don't know what they doing, genitalia and shit like that. That's their business. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they doing. But I know when I saw Sammy Sosa, I started getting a little bit into it, and you could just see like that shit is big, nigga, in South America, bro. Mm-hmm. Big, and it's cheap, and they do it constantly. It's actually like a thing, like it's like a designer type of thing in South America to get your skin bleached. You want to look like them, Sammy Sosa's a millionaire, you know what I mean? You want to look like that. You want to look like, the white person that you're looking up to. You know how it is. A lot of immigrants come over here and they want to assimilate. They don't follow black people. They follow the white man, the white elite man that they see as in the top of the mountain. And that's who they look up to. They don't want to look at each other. They want to look up to that. It happens all the time. Think about it. The clothes you wear, the car you drive, what you consider success. Mm. Isn't it funny that all that shit is like basically elite white people? That's what you consider success, is what elite white people do. Mm. And that's the reason why they color themselves like that, bro. Because a lot of people poor and they just want to fit in. And that shit is just destroying people. I don't know what it does to you chemically, but emotionally, imagine
like who gives a fuck in the mirror. If your self-esteem is through the roof, I guess who really cares what it does to you chemically,
I mean, to each their own. But just sometimes you gotta think about what you doing without even doing it, bro. Like you gotta think about what are you saying to the world? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, what are you saying? Like, without even saying it. Obviously, people think Sammy Sosa hated his skin. You know what I mean? I feel bad for like people that got like metalago and stuff like that and lupus and different diseases. You know what I mean? That's what that should be for. You feel me? But not for like, come on, man. And it's just a whole lot. And I just wanted to talk about that, bro, because I don't give a fuck what the nigga that made Hamilton said. He knew what he was doing. Subconsciously, maybe it was subconscious, right? Maybe he didn't know. Maybe he didn't understand. But that's a hell of a mistake. Not one, dog. Not one out of all of us. The millions in the heights, nigga. Mm-hmm. Fuck the world. Just in the heights. Just in the heights. Million Afro-Latino people. Million dark-skinned people that speak Puerto Rican. You go to fucking Brazil, most of the people there are dark. They're not light. That's not how I get down out there. Yeah. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't, if you didn't know if you woke up in Brazil, you wouldn't even know you was in Brazil. It looked like you in like Atlanta. You go to Cuba, everybody dark. Niggas ain't light. So come on, bro. You playing yourself. You play yourself, man. For real. Real rap. And let's just cut that dark shit off, man. Let's end that shit, man. Let's stop that infighting. Let's stop the colorism, man. Let's just cut that shit off, man. For real.
I'm down with it, man. I'm waiting on everybody else, though.
Motherfuckers are stupid. Anyway.
All right, y'all. That does it for another episode of You Feel Me Podcast. Thank y'all so very much for tuning in. Please be sure to like and subscribe and rock the bell. All right, so y'all know when we drop our new shit, our fire shit. We release every Friday. Okay, so please come back next Fridays for a brand new episode. Okay, all right, and drop a FYE okay, in those comments if you liked what we spoke about today, our topics today, or you could drop a little the little flame emoji. Let us know that you appreciate it and you liked it. If you have any ideas that you'd like for us to speak on, drop them in the comments below, okay? We appreciate you guys so much.